Hi, I'm Laurie Krieg.
I'm Matt Krieg, and we have been married for 11 years.
And Jesus Christ makes our version of an impossible marriage possible. My default attractions are not toward the gender of my spouse. So if I wrestle with lust, it's toward women. Even though the physical attractions with Matt in particular, it might not start there, there's a heart attraction. And then this drawing that I believe God did that said, Laurie, the mode I want you to do the mission to make disciples is as a married person. So he said that to me. So he filled this desire even to be married. And then he didn't fill me with this male attraction. He didn't make me from gay to straight. He said, he drew my heart and gave me this Matt attraction. So there was an impossible. Fast forward 8 years, and the Matt attraction had splintered. And a repressed memory of sexual assault that had happened to me as a kid bubbled to the surface when one of our kids was born. And that trauma recollection magnetized to my sexual orientation. And all of a sudden, I looked at Matt and I was like, no. He was both the enemy to me. He reminded me of my perpetrator, but then it was just like, why am I here? That Matt attraction was gone, and I needed something deeper than attraction to help us do this crazy metaphor called marriage.
You don't take a gay person and a pornography addicted person and put them together and expect something good to happen. But that's really what God did. My default was to run toward women and toward sexuality, to try and fill this space in myself. And while Laurie approached sex as something that was fearful, especially later on when this trauma memory resurfaced, I put it on a pedestal. I made it an idol. And so the place where God has been really at work in our marriage and in our relationship has been this place of learning, okay, God, what is your design for sex and sexuality? I can't run to it as this ultimate thing to fulfill me. It's a piece of a covenant marriage, but it's not the thing that can sustain it.
If you want me, you want what I have for you. You don't know how to pick your life. None of us really know, who can choose what's best for life? Is it possible that there is an all-loving, all-powerful Elohim, Abba Father, who didn't just drop kick a book into our world and say, live by this, but he came to our earth and he showed us how to live a life of surrender, to show the world not how awesome and strong you are, but to show the world that Jesus is life. Could I do that? And so I said, okay, God, I want you. Because I want you, I want what you have for me. And you're saying this marriage is what I've called you. This is the mode I want you to do the mission to make disciples. So I said, okay, I don't know if we're ever going to be physically intimate again. I don't know how you're going to figure that out. I don't know how this is going to work, but I want you, so I want what you want. So that's where God began flipping the impossible to possible, is I started taking the death grip off of my life and saying, not my will, but yours.
Mm-hmm. For this to work, I couldn't be sitting here just staring at Laurie and wanting her to be staring back at me. It's about both of us linking arms, being unified, but staring at God. Because our purpose of marriage isn't just for us to enjoy it. Yes, it is enjoyable to be with one another, but the purpose is to be a billboard for Christ's love for the church and for God's love for his people. And when we lose sight of that, if I turn and look at Laurie and expect her to fulfill me, I will be disappointed.
Yeah.
And the same with her if she's looking at me. But if we're both looking at God together, then he is the one who is pouring into us and even giving us the ability to love one another better, hopefully in a way that makes his love just so much more enticing for the people who we interact with.
It's, what can we grow together? How can we advance the kingdom of God together? How can we include our kids in this advancement? And I didn't know it could be this good. And I'm super crazy grateful.